Hello, I am Dr. Owen McIntyre. I teach law at in the Faculty of Law, University College Cork, part of the National University of Ireland. And I want to discuss very briefly the concept of equity within international water resources law. The concept of equity is absolutely central to international water resources law. It's the key paradigm within the cardinal principle of international water law, that of equitable and reasonable utilisation. What do we mean by equitable and reasonable utilisation? We say that each state has an entitlement to equitable and reasonable utilisation and a duty to use shared international waters in an equitable and reasonable manner. Well, basically, equity relates to fairness, to equality of treatment. And in this context of shared water resources, equity simply requires that the needs and the interests of states are considered equally, considered in a like manner. The principle of equitable and reasonable utilisation, as it is articulated in international instruments, usually includes a list of relevant factors. And these factors merely help us to understand what we mean by immediate human dependence on water, what we mean by economic dependence on water and an economic interest in water, and what we mean by the environmental dependence on water, or the environmental and ecological functions of water. And this helps us to understand what the interests of states are. It helps us to identify the interests of states, and then to weigh up in a fair and just manner how those interests ought to be satisfied or taken care of. Equity has a number of other connotations. We often talk about procedural equity to make sure that states have a fair and equal opportunity to express their concerns, to have access to information, to communicate their objections to a planned activity, for example. We have a number of principles of equity that come from this, the meaning of equity in domestic law, which help us to understand how legal proceedings should be conducted in a fair manner. But essentially, equity is the key paradigm for the apportionment of interests in water, quantum share in water, and rights to use shared waters.